Hi everyone, my name is Mikey Bouchereau. Today I'm going to show you some of the features of Coremelt's Slice X. It's a new plugin that lets you do masks. I am a huge fan of masking different objects out. I usually do this in After Effects or Motion, but now I actually don't have to leave Final Cut Pro 10 to do it. Most of my work I can actually just do right inside here. You use this for compositing, you do this for all sorts of different things. I'm going to show you just a couple uses of how Coremelt Slice X will work. Once you install Coremelt Slice X, it actually shows up in your effects browser under C2 Slice X. The first one is actually a still that I've taken from some video, and I just want to kind of show you what I want to create with it. In this case, I want to go ahead and remove a green golf ball that's sitting right here. So if you take a look, there's the green golf ball. So one of the great tools of Slice X is I have this wonderful tool called Object Remover. I'm going to go ahead and click and drag it to my clip. Now, once Object Remover is loaded, you get these on-screen controls for Slice X, some registration information, a nice click for help, which brings up a PDF, all the information about the different tools that you have inside here. It's great read through, some great shortcuts. I'm not going to mention them while I do this video. So I have this kind of widget on screen here. That's my mask shape. I can go ahead and create a new one if I want, with this tool here. There's my mask. I can even draw one by clicking on one of these tools. I can even do a Bezier one. And if people know Beziers, it's curves. You can see it around here with the whole. There we go. Or I can even go to freehand, where I can just literally draw my mask and instantly it's there, and it creates a bunch of points for me. This is huge because the current mask that you have in Final Cut is a 4-point mask, or if you've downloaded any of the other ones, which are great, the 7-point, 8-point masks are great, but you're limited to those points. And if you get one that has a 20-point or 30-point, you're kind of limited to those points, and then you have to go in and, well, like this, adjust each and every point individually to get it the way you want it. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and remove this ball, and I'm going to do a freehand mask that I'm going to draw right now. But if you look at it, I don't want to just get around the ball. There's also a shadow here, and I want to make sure I get rid of that shadow too. Otherwise, you're going to have no ball, and there's going to be a shadow for it. So let's go ahead and choose our freehand shape tool, and I'm going to go ahead and just click and drag around the area, kind of avoid the shadow of the other golf ball here. There we go. I don't even have to close it. I can just let go and it automatically creates my shape for me. Now, once I've created my mask shape, I'm going to go to my Object Remover in my inspector. I always like to make sure you have a little bit of shape softness when you remove something. You don't want to be completely harsh edge. So 8 pixels should be good here. Now, I can go offset X or Y. If I go X, you can see I'm replacing it with information over here, which is what I could do. Reset that back to 0. I can go up if I want, just by dragging my X up, or down. I'm going to reset that. In this case, I personally think that to left is a little bit more consistent with what I have over here. So I'm going to go ahead and just move my shape offset by X. There we go. Now, I can go ahead and adjust all sorts of things. I can do some color correction here, gamma control, to kind of fudge it in there. I personally don't think it needs it, so I'll just undo that. Everything else, that's it. That's how I can remove an object. They have these great on-screen controls. You don't have to turn them off. So when I watch this back and I go ahead and play this video back, it's a still image and it's gone. Tools automatically turn back on. When I click off of it, I click off of the effect. The tools are gone. Click on it, they're there, so I can work with it. So that is the object remove. Pretty useful. All right, my next clip here, I have Dumbo here. If you want to take a quick look, it's Dumbo going around in a circle and coming down to a stop. So one other great tool you have in Slice X is not only that we have the object remover, but we also have this depth of field mask. I'm going to go ahead and drag it out this time instead of double clicking. And it gives me this depth of field. This was shot on my iPhone. And when you look at it, it's good. It kind of gives me that depth of field look. Maybe not the best. I'm not really going to sell it to anyone who knows what to look for. But, it's there. I can reposition it, what's there. I can do pretty much anything. Now, on this one, I'm going to go ahead and create my own mask, just like I did before. They do have, again, some great presets, that might work for this. But in my case, I'm going to go ahead and just do a nice kind of oval here. So I'm going to click and drag right around my area. There we go. Reposition it. And like I said, I'm going to create an oval, so I'm going to go ahead and grab this yellow dot here and kind of turn in the corners here. There's my oval. Now that's good, but I'm blurring out the section that I want to keep. So in my effects over here, I have my depth of field shape mask. I can go ahead and choose the invert shape. Voila. I do have an amount slider for how blurry I want that outside to be. I might just do a little bit. We'll just do 25, just to give it a little bit of pizzazz here. And I don't know if I like the edge being that harsh. Again, I do have a little bit of softness, but I'm going to go crank that softness up quite a bit. That way it bleeds in a little bit. One thing, now as I kind of skim through my clip, you'll notice, I'm covering up my focus. It's not where I want it to be. So I'm going to go ahead and reposition this guy just by clicking and dragging up to where I want it to go. That looks pretty good right there. And I can go ahead and keyframe this just like I would anything else. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the keyframe option. There we go. Go forward to when Dumbo lands, right about there. And once you add a keyframe, you can just go ahead and click and reposition. Now, unlike the shape, keyframing inside Final Cut 10, you won't see a line, but just know that your keyframes are there. So there we go. There's my animation. And if I was to render this out so you can watch it, it's going to have a nice little depth of field as we play back. So for my next clip, I want to go ahead and look at vignette shape mask from Coremelt Slice X. I've actually added two different ones just so you can kind of get an idea. One of the things I like about the vignette mask is, unlike the vignette that you have in Final Cut, I can actually rotate it around, scale it any direction just like you normally would. It can be skewed, be more of a circle, kind of change the points individually, grab a corner and adjust it that way. You have a lot of control to adjust this mask. Okay, now again, there's no reason not to create your own custom one, because in this case I want to go ahead and kind of create more of a square looking mask that I think is going to go ahead and be more of a stripe through my project. So right here I have again, footage from Disney World. I have the train coming right through here, and I want to go ahead and make sure that I focus in on the train, nothing else. So instead of kind of having a vignette around the whole edges here, I've gone ahead and created this mask right here in the middle, and I've inverted it so you can actually see what the mask is kind of covering up. So when I go ahead and invert it, I have the controls for darkness, not darkened at all, darken, softness, I can come up like this. I'm going to go ahead and keep that a little bit softer. Rotate, but again, you have these great on-screen controls where you can adjust it. So vignette shape mask. Now the way I did that one, let's go ahead and recreate it. I have my clip selected. I'm going to go to the vignette shape mask here, double click, and there's my mask. I'm going to go ahead and draw my own. That should be good. I'm going to go ahead and make it more of a square, something like that. And I'm going to rotate it to kind of fit this. That looks good. And I'm going to extend it out to cover up the whole thing. And let's open up our tools for this. Let's darken it up a little bit there. And I am a fan of that. That looks actually pretty good. Now on the same clip, let's go ahead and do a little bit of extra. I'm going to give this center part a little bit more pizzazz, if I will. Maybe more of a focus around here, not even over here. So I'm going to go ahead and do color correct shape mask. So once I've added a color correction shape mask to this clip, I can go ahead and take the mask that's right there or create my own. In this case, I'm going to use the freehand one just like I used before. And I'm just going to go from right about here, draw a mask right around the area I want to affect. You don't need this guy. Come up to here. Yeah, that should be good. And I'm going to go ahead and soften the edges around that. Let's close up the tools I have in here. Okay, so in here I can go ahead and, well, just to see it, let's go ahead and bring up the contrast real quick so you can see right there is what I'm going to be affecting. And I'm going to go ahead and soften it real quick. There we go, to right there. That way it's a nice soft blending in. Let's bring my contrast back to 1. And you know, I actually might boost the contrast instead of taking away just a bit. Right to about 1.05. Let's boost a little bit of the saturation. Let's brighten it up a little bit. And maybe a little bit more of the shape softness around that. And you can even go ahead and reorder these. So I think I'm going to put this before my vignette. So that way the color correction is applied and then the vignette is applied to it. So without my color correction, without my vignette, color correction, you can see it on and off. Really pops this a little bit more. Okay, so let's talk about the shape mask. Now I have this great still photo of Louisville, Kentucky, and below it I've actually placed this video of some water at the beach that I took. Now I'm going to reposition this just to get more water there. And you know, as I skim through it, you can see that sure enough the water is moving. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and cut out the water section of here. Now, yes, I can go ahead and cut this out, and then I'll need to cut that part off so that way I can replace the sky, because this sky is not doing too much, and I could definitely do that. But right now I'm just going to do it right in front of you, very quick and easy. So what I found to be easier when I go ahead and use my shape mask layer, and I go ahead and place it on there, it creates, adds this nice mask. Again, they have all their nice little ones you can choose from, which might be nice, might be what you want to use. But what I have found is if you just kind of create a small mask in the middle and then invert it, you can now see your whole shape, which is really what I want. I really want to see my whole thing before I do this. So I'm going to use the polygon tool again, and this seems to be pretty straight here. So I'm just going to come through here, a couple points, go to right about there and there. Alright, and I'll just come up through the top. I'll actually even zoom out, just make my mask bigger than it needs to be. Hit return to accept it. Now sure enough, I've cut off the buildings, so let's set that up the way I want. And if I look at it, here is the water outside Louisville, but you'll notice I get kind of a bleed here, and that's because, again, there's a little bit of shape softness. So I'm going to move the slider back down to 0 and give it a nice harsh edge. And so when we play this back, there's the city that's still and the water moving. So a bunch of different ways to use the tools from Coremelt. Right now Slice X is on sale for $49. Normally it's $79. Also, while you visit Coremelt.com, don't forget to check out all their products, including Coremelt Complete, a set of effects, transitions, and generators for Final Cut Pro 10, Final Cut Pro 7, Adobe Premiere Pro, and Adobe After Effects. Also, while you're there, take a look at Lock and Load X, which has recently been updated for Final Cut Pro 10. Hope you've enjoyed my review of Slice X. Again, I'm Mikey Bouchereau. Have a great day.